So did I miss anything crazy so far this morning? Did I miss anything crazy? Or did it just kind of, I don't think it's legal to block doors. I don't think it's legal to block doors either. I really don't. New York is protesting today. Yeah, protests are happening all over, and everybody is paying attention to what's happening in California. And I'm trying to get to a zen place where I'm saying, it's just another day in Crazy Town. It's just another day where slaves are waking up, realizing that they're slaves and how much more slavery can they take before somebody just snaps like somebody's. So that's, I think, what we're all waiting. We're just all waiting around for the next person to just freaking lose it. Like, who's going to be that person? So, and I got asked a lot over the weekend and from Friday, like my thoughts and what do I think about all of these different ways to protest and the different ways that we need to handle our activism. And I just gotta say, you guys, yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on that, but I don't think that there is any right way. There are wrong ways to do activism, for sure. But I don't think that there's any right way to do this, right? I mean, there's no like blueprint really to doing this. Oh, I mentioned the nipple. It's getting better. I have the shield in today, and it's getting better. It's definitely scarier that what I've got going on here. And for those that saw, it's definitely scarier than the freaking measles. I'll tell you that much. Like I'll take the measles. I'll take Ebola right now for like weeks over what is happening here. Anyhow. It's interesting because it's like the thing that can fix it is the breast milk. So it's like to have to witness this one get deflated and then me like twisting it to squirt onto this one is definitely, it's a sight. It's one of those, like, that's why I call them the circus tits. Not only because they've gone up to like size Fs when they fill up, but because it's really just like, I could charge good money for that. Have you witnessed? I could charge good money for that. So give me the chicken pot. Give me all of it. Give me shingles. I'll take that back. I don't really want to deal with shingles right now. But so going back to what many of you have asked, like what my opinions are on all of the different ways that people are doing the activism, I have a lot of opinions. A lot of stuff that's being done wouldn't be my preferred method. But I'm not going to hate. Like, I am not hating. And I just want to say, for those that mistook my Facebook post last week, I was doing a lot of you who have followed me for at least a couple months know that very often I love to tap into psychology, and I like to do these little tests by myself. They're not mean-spirited or evil or anything like that. But a lot of times I like to see how people will react to something as simple as a question. So Friday night, what happened at the Capitol? Well, they were closing, right? Now, this is what I know now, what I've gathered now. There were parents that were there all day fighting with these bills, and outside of Newsom's office, which, by the way, all the chanting, I love it, and I think that that's great. But you guys, when you go through those doors past that big bear, there's like another huge hallway. There's like another big office that you'd have to go to even get to Newsom. And then after that office is like an exit out. So he doesn't even have to exit through those doors. He doesn't exit through those doors. This is how that building has been designed. These politicians can just escape out. They're not even hearing you. They're not even hearing you, and they're not even there. So I just feel terrible. I'm like, well, that's why we got to get the press out. We got to get the word out. All I asked on my Facebook Saturday morning, because I woke up Saturday morning, clearly I was arguing with like the likes of Lorena on Twitter. That's how I forgot about the pump being on super high and that my nipple then that happened. So like what happened here is very much Lorena's fault. But so then it was already like 9 a.m. and I was going, okay, wait, now I gotta like look into what actually happened yesterday at the Capitol. Moms got arrested. Instead of doing what I normally do, which is just my own research and like looking it up myself, I made a bit of a mistake by asking on a Facebook status what happened last night. And the way I asked it was, why were they arrested? Were they arrested for staying after business hours, or were they arrested due to some kind of altercation? Is there something else that happened that I didn't know about? You should have read some of these responses. For asking a question, hashtag just asking campaign, people were jumping on there like, you should just support them. Okay, and maybe, okay, no, you know what? I don't want to do that. I don't want to misinterpret tone. Maybe they were like, you should just support them. I'm not going to misinterpret tone. But I was fascinated to see some of these comments that came in. I was like, dude, I just asked a question. Why were they arrested? And to see the mob mentality from our side was fascinating to see, which is why, once again, I'm a lone wolf. I don't need the pack. I don't run with the pack. I don't deal with that kind of mentality at all for anything. Don't you dare, if you're in this movement, think that just because somebody else is an anti-vax parent or person or whatever, that you need to agree with them 1,000% on anything. And if you think that way, bounce up off this platform. You are not going to like anything else that comes out of my mouth. Because this is just ridiculous how people were acting. I was like, who said I don't support? Literally, the post even said that I'm supportive of the movement. Let me just read what this post said so you guys are like, what the heck here? Okay, go back to Saturday, because then after that I was like, whatever, I'm just going to keep posting the things I post anyway and it doesn't even matter. Goodbye. Some of these people, I was like, did you really? Okay, here. Can someone, this is at 9 a.m. on Saturday. 9:46 a.m. Can someone clarify? Were they arrested for some back and forth with authorities, or was the arrest because they were staying past business hours and the business was closing? I'm all for supporting Freedom Keeper. This is part of my status. I'm all for supporting Freedom Keepers and the cause, don't get me wrong, but sleeping inside the Capitol, am I missing something? I needed to know, because I'm trying to imagine whether you're pro-vax or anti-vax, if you are staying at a place that is closing for the weekend after hours with whatever it is you're protesting, and the guard is there working, they're going to kick you out. Did I say I didn't agree with what they were doing and causing attention to the movement? No, I just needed to know. Like, I need to know for my own future, whatever I do, because if I have plans of being arrested later that night, I gotta get a babysitter. Like, I'm gonna have to make arrangements. You know, you're gonna have to do these things. You are shouting in the name of freedom, being willing to get arrested. So you also have to know what you're getting into. That's literally all I'm saying. Guys, some of the people that jumped on this post, I just was like blown away. Blown away. People started talking about Antifa on here. They let Antifa do this and get away with it. I'm not in support of Antifa. I never said I supported Antifa. I never said that So here's what happened. They were arrested for not leaving when it was closing. Okay. And for the people that did respond to me and actually read what I asked and responded, thank you. Thank you for reading. There was a girl who jumped on here, literally, I think she jumped on here with her pitchfork. Okay? And I am not saying to not do these things. Are these my preferred methods? Me personally, no. Does that mean that you shouldn't do it? Absolutely freaking not. Do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. Then you have some people that are saying, but this is our house. We pay for the okay, so then I just want to understand, what are the goals there? They should then just give us the keys? They should give us the keys. That is our house. We pay for those seats. We pay for that carpet. We pay for the hideous decoration in that place, all the 70s decor in there. Okay, but then just let me know, like, what was the end goal? And this is why, for the other people, this is why, first of all, don't go asking questions on social media. God forbid you ask a question just asking. There are many other people that they're taking what happened. So now I'm going to look at the situation from like sitting back and watching it. Do I necessarily agree with how things were done? No, I don't know. Did it stir up the movement? Yes. Did it bring attention to the movement? Yes. It brought attention to the movement, because what happened now is things got spread all over social media. So whether you like agree with what these people did or not, I'm telling you, what they did brought attention to the movement. What they did, I don't want to use the word where it worked to bring attention to the cause, because all people heard all over social media was moms were arrested at the Capitol, which was honestly, that was really great. That was really great that was circulating on social media, because it forced people who never gave a shit about this topic to go on their phones, use their internet for something other than, I have a million examples, but you know what I'm saying? Like, so they were able to, oh my God, wow, what's happening? What bill is this? What is this? What's this infringing on our, and it stirred up what we are seeing today on a Monday. Whether that was their intention or not, it brought attention to the movement. So I guess, in other words, what I'm trying to say is, stop asking me what my opinions are and what I would do, because the things that I would do, you see what I do. You see what I do all day long. It's not the right way. It's not the wrong way. There is no right way, is what I'm trying to say. There's no right way. So they didn't mention that they were frisked. Okay, my husband's dead. Somebody got Hep C in jail. That's my thing too. See, I'm like, you can get vaccinated in prison. So there's like, there are certain lines that I'm going, I don't know if I would cross that quite yet. We'll see. We'll see though. But you're getting a lot of, right now, because it's the internet, we're getting a lot of naysayers. And I just don't want to be that person. What I did on Saturday pretty much solidified why you shouldn't be that person either. All I did was ask a question. I didn't get on here and tell people what exactly I thought about certain things and certain ways that people are doing things, because I would have been hung out to dry by who I think is like a part of the same movement. Okay? People in this movement right now are eating each other alive, and I don't want to be a part of it. You cannot tell other people how to advocate. Just like you cannot tell people where to put their money. People are still donating to the likes of St. Jude cancer research. We know that they're not researching shit. They're not researching the cure for cancer. We know the cure's for cancer. You're not researching cancer, St. Jude's, when your cafeterias are lined with cancer-causing GMO vending machines. Come on, like, not the vending machines themselves, but what's in the vending machine. But like, what am I going to do? Am I going to go on a crusade right now after these organizations and why people shouldn't donate to those organizations? No. I'm going to just take my time, my energy, and my money and donate to organizations that I think are actually going to be doing something. And then I'm going to highlight why I've personally chosen those organizations. That's what you do. So if you don't like how somebody else is advocating, you are wasting your time, your talents, your energy, jumping on social media, bad-mouthing how somebody else is advocating. You should be spending that time doing what you think needs to be done to advocate. And if your way is better, people will see that eventually. People will sit back and say, oh, Well, I like this way of advocating instead, or I like, then let people make up their own minds, is what I'm saying. So my whole talk here in the beginning is just a word to the wise, like a cautionary tale, because once again, all I did was ask a question. And apparently, people think that you need to just be in support of how every single person does things if they're a part of the anti-vax movement. No. First of all, you don't tell that to you don't tell that, especially to somebody like me, because I will be like, all I asked is, why were they arrested? And I was told that I should just be in support. That's it. Okay? That's it. So I am now saying, for other activists out there that are getting really frustrated, if you're feeling really frustrated, I got some fun talks for you. I got really fun talks for you. Besides telling you that you don't get to tell other people how they're going to spend their money, you don't get to tell people who they can support, let me jump to the end of all of this before I break it down a little bit. People need to be led. Maybe not you. Maybe not a lot of type 8s out there who clearly don't need leadership. The average person needs to be led. And it sucks. So if it's almost like you should just be grateful that they're at least being led by somebody who's woke in a way to the fact that poison is poison versus who used to lead them, which is CNN and their other media outlets and their other preferred. And it's not just be grateful that it's, but can we sit with that for a second? The average person in this society needs to be led. They need their hand held. I got activists that I absolutely love and adore, and I've had these conversations with them on the side, so they already know. It's not like I'm saying something that I haven't already told them. If you have talents and if you have a gift and it is in leadership or it's in what, you are wasting your time and energy and your talents lambasting and slandering and other people who are leading in this movement. Because here's the other thing with that too. The people that you are pointing a finger at that you don't like, they don't even give a shit. They don't even know that you're wasting that time and energy on them. They're too busy doing what they're doing. So there's one thing. I have a lot of opinions on what I think, where I think we should be occupying, where I think we should, I've been saying this forever at this point, which is I believe that the media is hugely responsible for the division in this country. And I think we need to be going after, not a violent way, but I think that we need to creatively go after media and these journalists that are the ones coming up with these articles. These are the same journalists, by the way. So here's all these parents that are outside the Capitol, right? And we're going after politicians. We're calling out dirty, evil, crooked politicians. You got the media quietly there, snapping photos, recording little bits, going back to their office because they have the audience. And instead of typing out on a headline, parents of vaccine injury, they're typing out vaccine skeptics. They're typing, have you seen their headlines? These are the tards that we need to shame creatively. Does that mean, can I do it? Sure, I can do it, which is why I'm not yelling out, you do this, you do this, you do this. I'll do it. I'd love some other insight to get creative in doing that, but I'm not sitting back here going, we need to be doing this, we're wasting our time. No, you don't get to sit back at home in the comfort of your home and tell other people how they're going to be spending their money, who they should donate to or not. You just don't get to do that. And you don't get to use terms like controlled opposition without having some freaking crazy solid proof. If you're going to use terms like that, you better have concrete proof that these people were funded or paid by Big Pharma, because it's going to just make you look like a bitter resentful, envious, angry person sitting back. I'm only human. I'm capable of like a lot of freaking error over here. And I got all of these opinions too. That's the beauty of this thing called social media right now. But we need to stop with that. You know what's going to, in the weeks to come here, we are going to see so much more, so many new styles and ways to advocate, that the last thing you want to be is that person sitting on the sidelines going, why would they do that? That's so stupid. You don't want to be that person. I'm telling you, you don't want to be that person. You want to just do what you do best, you know? And we got to, at this point, so that it's moving me into the next realm here, because if you feel like you are that person sitting back getting really, really upset because nothing's getting done, because there's a lot of people. Just imagine guys being a part of doing something like this for like a decade at this point. It kind of just hits you and then it bounces right off of you. It's like not that you don't care, but you get it. You get that human beings are wired so differently, and not everything people are going to do is going to be right up your alley and exactly what you would do. This should go without saying. If you are feeling, what about me? You know, if you're feeling this like, what about me? Why them? Why those people? What about me? I'm trying to also do this. I'm doing good things. Let me tell you what. You're going by that, and I could answer you in the more John 21:22. What is it to you? You must follow me. When disciples were playing the compare game with one another, and they were asking, what about that person? What did Jesus say? What is it to you? You must follow me. Okay? This is not about fair. This is not about a sense of fairness. What is that to you? What's in your blank line right now? Because a lot of us got to sit back and like ask ourselves, Lord blank, fill that in. What is that big void that's happening right now in your life? Okay? It's going to sound insensitive, but it's actually not. There is a plan for your life. There's a purpose for your life. If you follow Jesus, he's going to take you on the adventure of your life. You got to worry about following Jesus. That's what gets me. If you're like, I need a conclusion, I need a solution to all this, that's my solution here. You got to worry about following him. Do not let envy kill the work that he's doing in you. Okay? Envy rots the bones. That is Proverbs 14:30. You cannot compete and compare your way to any kind of peace. Your heart needs to be at peace. That's what's going to give life to your body. And there's just so many ways that you can advocate. There is no wrong way. There is no right way. Actually, once again, there are some wrong ways where everybody can sit back and be like, oh no. Like what Austin Bennett did, that's the wrong way to advocate. That's wrong. But I'm not about to go on a crusade after Austin Bennett. I'm just going to ignore that. Just ignore that completely. So yeah, I feel like I needed to get that out today because things are only going to escalate from here on out. There are swarms of people that are going to be occupying the Capitol. And it's going to last for all this week. It's going to last through next week. People have plans to stay there. Do we support this? That you ask yourself, are we supporting this? Yeah, I'm all in support for parents that are putting themselves on the line, their lives on the line, for their babies. I am in support for that. 100%. 100%. And the rest of us states, though, are just more concerned with how do I make it so that my state doesn't turn into that state. Because if you're in California and you are making plans to get off the sinking ship, I want to be of some encouragement to you right now. This is not anymore about running away from California. This is about, you can leave California and move to America. Like the rest of America. The rest of America. What has California told you? Oh my gosh, what has California told you? Like, why are you going to now pay property tax for schools that have forced your kids out of them? Are you hearing this? Like, you could buy a house anywhere else. I promise you there are fairer business markets. There's the rest of America too that just right now, everything with California, I'm going, you guys realized, right, that like AB 262 is in the works? Like it's actually this 714 and this 276, this is not even the worst of it. Like, it's getting worse. It's going to get worse. Who here knows about 714? I mean, are you guys pretty much all up to date on 714 right now and what's happening there? Because it's some crap. And you know that what they did with writing that up is just to, it's going to be like, oh, he can squash one, or we're not going to, but have you read the other one? Have you read 714? He needs to be vetoing both. A veto on 276 is going to make SB 714 irrelevant, okay? It's because it's a companion traitor bill. It discusses immunizations. There's section, let's pull it up right now. You can go on legalinfo.com, legislature.california.gov. You can look up SB 714 and their immunizations. It was introduced by Senator Pan as well. It's like he's got backup plan after backup plan. He's already made those tweets showcasing that he's going to offer this up to other states. He's like, I can help you do this at your state. So, I gotta pull this, and of course my Facebook's not loading. Everybody is on the same thing here right now with this 714. What are your plans, you guys, if it passes? Okay, issues with 714 right now. This is from Voice for Choice, where they break this down. Senator Pan gut and amended the bill to incorporate the amendments Governor Newsom requested and more. The bill is now significantly worse than it was before. This will be voted on by the Assembly next week, i.e. today. You guys remember that these are the people that vote for things in the middle of the night or like in the middle of the afternoon. They'll give you last minute announcement because they don't care about you. They don't care about you. They don't care about your vote. So here are some effective issues with SB 714. In section 120370, section A, paragraph 2, I guess, commencing January 1st, 2020, a child who has a medical exemption issued before January 1st, 2020 shall be allowed continued enrollment to any public or private elementary or secondary school, child care center, day nursery, nursery school, or developmental center within the state until the child enrolls in the next grade span. So what have they done for you? They have bought you the rest of the year, of the school year. This does not apply. You see, words in fine print are very important because it doesn't apply now to the end. After that school year is over, is done. For purposes of this subdivision, grade span means each of the following: birth to preschool inclusive, kindergarten in grades 1 to 6 inclusive, including transitional kindergarten, grades 7 to 12 inclusive, except as provided in the subdivision on and after July 1st, 2021, the governing authority shall not unconditionally admit or readmit to any of these institutions specified in this subdivision, or admit or advance any pupil to the 7th grade level unless the pupil has been immunized pursuant to section 120335, or the parent or guardian files a medical exemption form that complies with section 120372. So this isn't just reading this going, oh, well, they can go until I file a medical exemption form. it has to comply with the section. This is why reading is important. What does this mean? Children with a medical exemption on file in 2020 under SB 277 that are between grade spans have until July 2021 being grandfathered in. Thereafter, they will need a medical exemption that is based on CDC, ACIP, AAP, which is the American Academy of Pediatrics, contraindications, precautions to enter any grade. 99% of children in all grades with current medical exemptions will not qualify and will be kicked out of school in July 2021. So what it's saying right now, California, is you bought yourself. You can keep the medical exemption through next year, okay? There'll probably be like 8 or 9 more outbreaks. Then you got that one last year on that medical exemption. Good luck finding a pediatrician that's willing to write one out for you at this point. It is crunch time is what we're trying to say. Children with a medical exemption on file in 2020 under 277 that are starting a new school or going into kinder or 7th grade will need to submit a new medical exemption, but it is not clear what criteria they will have to follow given the criteria will only go into effect July of 2021. Also, the form will not be available until 2021. So their form is not even... If they have to follow the SB 276 criteria, then 99% will be kicked out of school. The parent is going to have to refile the medical exemption every year thereafter to be readmitted into the school. Without this amendment, children who had a medical exemption under SB 277 would have been allowed to continue with school until their existing legal medical exemption was grandfathered in, unless the doctor wrote more than 4 or their school fell below 95% vaccination rate. Did you hear that? If the school falls below the 95% vaccination rate, none of what I freaking have just said matters. None of it. Or if the doctor's already written 4 or more. So are you waiting in line? Are you waiting in line January 1st, 2020 at the crack of when that pediatrician's office opens? And you better be first in line, because if the mom before you has 3 kids and you have 2 kids, only one of your kid. This is like freaking Sophie's Choice right now. 1 kid. Can you imagine? This is how stupid all of this is. This is why we're saying amendments, your amendments. Kill it. Kill it now. None of these amendments. The amendment is going to remove the medical exemption for all children immediately if they are entering into school, kindergarten, or 7th grade, and it's going to remove it in July 2021 for all the remaining children with a medical exemption, regardless of where they are in grade level. Section 120372 under G states, whether the medical exemption is permanent or temporary, including the date upon which a temporary medical exemption will expire, a temporary exemption shall not exceed 1 year. All medical exemptions shall not extend beyond the grade span as defined in section 120370. What does that mean? This is going to remove all permanent medical exemptions. All medical exemptions will have to be renewed by the physician and resubmitted at school entrance, kindergarten, and 7th grade. Note, physicians are not allowed to charge for this per the bill. So good flipping luck. Your pediatrician doesn't even want your ass in their office right now if you're not compliant to the CDC schedule, right? They don't want you there. You are wasting their damn time. They're looking at you like you could freaking measure and weigh your kid at home yourself. You're costing me money by standing in here, asking for inserts, asking a million questions. This is a turn and burn. This is a business. We got to keep the lights on. And you not complying to this schedule costs me money. I don't care how cute you think your kid is. So good luck if that's already how pediatricians are operating and they are not even able to charge money for a medical exempt that they can give you, which you know what it was before? We all know what it was before. You had to pay about $400 per kid per medical exemption, which is so fucked because even most of these kids qualified for these damn exemptions, okay? I got news for you, actually. Every fucking human being qualifies for a fucking medical exemption, you piece of shit, motherfucking asshole. Goddamn. Did she really, on a live, just give us biblical verse like 10 minutes ago, and now she's... Yeah, she just did that. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. Thou shalt not judge. Every human being qualifies for a medical exemption. Because why? Because poison in my system is gonna fuck it up. You absolute fucktards. So, your physician, I'm sorry, God's like, I know he's like, I just got this jolt of like, we were on a roll, like, you were doing good, Natalia, I know. It's not a pulpit, it's IG Live. I'm sorry. So now your physician, your pediatrician that was a little comfy cozy, like, well, they're not on the CDC schedule, but I'm still getting my cut, is not going to get their cut. So good luck, everyone in California. Good luck. If you found a pediatrician willing to give you a medical exempt before and take your money, you acted like that was a golden ticket. And I was sitting back going, they still took your money. It's still a little corrupt. No. I'm grateful. I'm just grateful that Can you ask for your $400 back now? No. Good luck. That is the golden ticket. If they give you your money back and they still write you the exempt. That's winning the lottery in California right now. That's the real California lotto. I'm not even done yet with 714. Sorry, this is not the news. You can jump off. You can find your news from anywhere else. I'm going to read this. I'm just going to do it how I do it, okay? Under C, by January 1st, 2021, the department shall create a standardized system to monitor immunization levels in schools and institutions as specified in sections 12035 and 120440. And to monitor patterns of unusually high exemption form submissions by a particular physician and surgeon. Holy shit! I'm sorry. Who read that? I can do this. Who read that as witch hunt? Witch hunt. Okay? Because that is what caused Nipplegate to begin with on Saturday morning. Because somebody brought it up to Lorena. First of all, Lorena, who is the biggest thorn in my side. Lorena, I need a vaccine for Lorena. I need help. Okay, she brings up that fake medical exemptions hurt kids. Right? So somebody brings up, and all of us on Twitter, there has not been one fake medical exemption that has been found. Not one. And her self says, yet. That tweet, I'm so glad if you screenshot that. A lot of us who have that saved now on record, she is admitting that all this hoopla going on around us right now, all of this back and forth talk, she is admitting they have not even found one fake medical exemption, one fraudulent medical exemption. She admits this on Twitter. The balls that this woman has, and she wears them around her neck in white. Already admitting they have not found one. And now, with these amendments, they are wording this very nicely, aren't they? They are wording this that we are going to monitor immunization levels in schools and monitor patterns of unusually high exemption form submissions by particular surgeons and physicians. This is what they have done to doctors in California. That when you call your doctor and they tell you no, it's because their hands are tied. They don't want to be monitored. This is a witch hunt bill. You know the witch hunts we used to have back then, where you could just accuse somebody? You could just accuse your next door neighbor because she likes to whip up stuff in her house. She's like mixing oils and she's just like mixing stuff and like, guys, try this. And you're going, that she's a witch. She's a witch. And then they're going to put her on trial. This, if you guys are not seeing this right now, and I sound like a psychopath to you, if you think that poison is not poison when it's in a syringe, then I don't even care. This is a modern day witch hunt. This is a modern day freaking witch hunt. If I'm a nurse or a doctor and I have the best intentions right now for my patients, like the best intentions, and I read this, I'm not chancing this shit. I'm not going to chance that I'm going to give out the 5th exempt for the year and it's all of January 1st, 2020 at like 9 a.m. I'm not going to chance that to now be put on a monitoring system. Are you out of your mind? So what? This is real life. This is what's happening right now. Right now. So if we're going, oh, amend this, amend that, look at what they, when we ask for amendments, look at what they do. They make it fucking worse. They make it worse. Under D now, the department at a minimum shall annually review immunization reports from all schools and institutions in order to identify medical exemption forms submitted to the department and under this section that will be subject to paragraph 2. A clinically trained immunization department staff member. Oh, okay. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean, government? A clinically trained immunization department staff member? Vaccines do not cause immunity. They don't. They create antibodies that don't even work. Antibodies get created. There's no immunity that's created because we have something called a fucking booster. A booster! Am I going crazy? We have something called a booster. The fact that we have something called a booster means that no immunity is actually fucking given. So what are you training these monkeys on? What are we training them on? No, what are we doing? We live in a time right now where a lot of people think this is a good fucking idea, and it's terrible. Lord, I'm sorry. So this clinically trained immunization department staff member who is either now a physician and surgeon or a registered nurse, and we all know what they learn. We know what they learn. Shall review all medical exemptions from any of the following. Schools or institutions that are subject to this with an overall immunization rate of less than 95%, meaning to say, none of this even matters if the school your kid's attending has a low immunization rate below 95%. Physicians and surgeons who have submitted 5 or more medical exemptions in a calendar year beginning January 1st, 2020. What day is it today, you guys? What day is it today? Why does 2020 feel like 20 years from now? It's not. It's in like 4 months. Schools or institutions subject to section 120375 that do not provide reports of vaccination rates to the department. Meaning, if you thought you were off the hook because your school doesn't give a fuck, they have to report this. And if they don't report it, red flag. The department shall identify those medical exemption forms that do not meet applicable CDC, ACIP, or AAP criteria for appropriate medical exemptions. The department may contact the primary care physician and surgeon or issuing physician and surgeon to request additional information to support the medical exemption. What does this mean? There is no mechanism in place. Let me catch my breath. There is no mechanism in place anymore to collect the medical exemptions that are submitted to schools in 2020. So will this mean that medical exemptions will now be sent from each school to the CDPH separately over email or some other non-secure freaking format? Because you guys are they are the most ineffective group of anybody that works government. You guys suck. You suck. You can't even do school lunches proper. You can't. So it's going to be sent on some non-secure format to determine the number of medical exemptions written by each doctor. Why are doctors going to be monitored from next year, but the rest of the bill goes into effect 2021? Why do you think? Why are we starting to monitor doctors by January of 2020? It's practice. It's because they've made enough threats and they are weeding these fuckers out because it is a witch hunt. Because it's a witch hunt. So you're going to think, oh, as long as I get all this done before 2021, good luck if you're in California. After these amendments, what physician in their right mind wants to work with your ass after this? If a doctor has written over 4 medical exemptions and then even if the grandfathered ones did not have to comply with CDC, ACIP, AAP, contraindications, precautions, they will now have to comply immediately. There is no grandfathering in, and all medical exemptions are required to comply with CDC, ACIP, AAP contraindications by 2021 at the latest. At the latest. You better be jumping off of this live, going to Realtor.com right now, go to Zillow, you know what you need to do? You need to at least look. It doesn't hurt to look. It doesn't hurt to window shop or just start imagining worst case scenario for your family and your life right now. It doesn't hurt to look. I applaud the efforts of the parents that are fighting. I am not going to, lesson learned, I can't even ask you a question. You're not here. You can't say anything. You're not here. Okay. Okay. Shh. Eye contact. Hand. Eye contact. Hand. I'm not even going to ask. I applaud your efforts. Are you prepared for the stamp of approval? Can I ask that? Can I ask if you are prepared in your family for the stamp of approval? Because I can go to California this week. I can be at the Capitol. I can rally it up because I got my ducks in a row. I got my stuff in order, and we have even more plans in the works on the in case of this one or this one. I don't know about you, but I like putting myself into situations where I go, what would we do? What would we do? Because California, I have never witnessed that kind of name calling. Your politicians and senators getting on social media. Did you see what Pan said to Katie, the mother of... Did you see what he said to her yesterday in a tweet? Her daughter clearly was murdered by vaccines at 6 months old. After the 6-month she died. She was murdered by the poison. And this, A part of me here is thinking, because I get cynical at times, and I'm going, is somebody else has to be running his social media? Is somebody literally saying the worst things ever to just get the violence out of us? This is how evil operates. They poke at you, poke at you, poke at you, poke at you, right? They're like doing this all day long. And when you bite back, they say, ha, look at how crazy she is. Media, because you're on our side, look at how insane these people are when they've been doing this, right? So we have to be really careful. We have to be really careful. But what he said yesterday in his tweet was one of the low, like he has some low tweets, you guys, but this one caught a lot of us off guard. Okay? He caught a lot of us off guard because he said, while I sympathize, Katie has my sympathy for the loss of her daughter Evie. Blaming her death on vaccination requires proof. VAERS number, hashtag vaccines work, hashtag IVax to protect. I think the beauty of what he did was thousands of parents likely yesterday woke up and just got on our side, because who talks to a mother grieving over the death of an infant like this? You have to have no soul. And adrenochrome does that to you. We know that enjoying the torturing of little children and drinking their blood, that does that to you. That has to be where all your money is going, because it's clearly not going to your bald spot. So I'm sorry. Like, you can't even get LASIK, all this pharma money? Here I go. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Here I go. I'm not petty. I'm not going to be petty like this. I'm not going to be petty like that. That wasn't me. Some of the all the red bottom shoes are expensive. They're expensive. What do you care about I guess what do you care about a bald spot? I don't know. I'm being really petty right now. Really, really petty. It's not even professionally appropriate for anybody, but especially somebody in his position, a senator, to be asking a mother to share their child's health information publicly. But do you see how twisted and evil this is? They already want you to get used to the fact that your personal private information has never belonged to you. It's never been yours. It's always been theirs to own, to look after, to see. Like, they are, every single day that passes, exposing that we are under watch. And we've been under watch. And they don't give a fuck anymore. They don't. They don't care. They've never cared, but they definitely now don't care to hide what they were hiding. It's out in the open. It's not even professional for him to have asked that. Not only that, you have taken this absolutely gut-wrenching situation that's happened in this family, and you have turned it into a number. But you have also admitted that there is such a thing as VAERS. So thank you for doing that, Senator Pan, because now people are going, what's VAERS? And Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System. And they are going to go and they're going to see it's government run, and how impossible it is to file a claim, how long it takes, and then being like, oh yeah, it's government handled, because everything that they handle turns to shit. No one, okay, that's VAERS. They will tell you that VAERS numbers don't matter because it's underreported, which tells you that there's way more vaccine injury out there. So they'll be like, only 10% of people that get vaccine injured report their numbers. Oh, thanks for admitting that. That means that there's way more. That means when you're telling us it's 1 in a million, it's actually 1 in 100,000, not 1 in a million. So like not as rare. And then people start hopefully using the coconuts to put this together. But how dare this person, right? How absolutely disgusting. And I'm seeing the word homeschool coming up here. They're going to go after homeschooling next. It's California. You're living in a police state. It's a nanny state. They're going to go after your homeschooling next. This guy is seriously the walking devil for posting this, and he got everybody up in arms. That is absolutely evil that he went and did that. Babies are dying. Every day you got babies dying in this country, okay? After rounds and rounds of vaccines. We've called it SIDS. But there's SADS too, you guys. There is sudden adult death syndrome after vaccines because death is a side effect listed on every insert, even the ones adults get. And when we get it, it's called SADS. But way to admit that there's something called VAERS. Way to admit that vaccine injury is real. And way to admit that our children are just numbers to you. That our children are just one big number to you. We can flood him today with a bunch of VAERS numbers, but that's what they've reduced your kids down to. So I feel like this was somewhat productive. We did definitely go over 714. Don't hold your breath, guys. Don't hold your breath. That wasn't even the worst bill. AB 262 is like going underneath everybody's noses right now. Everybody is screaming 276 today. AB 262. I mean, reading that one it sounds like martial law. And they know it. And they know that they know that it's a lot. I love you for advocating. I love you for getting out there. I love you for highlighting it because if the most you did was wake somebody up today, you've done it. You've done the most that you could do. And it's very appreciated. I'll jump back on in a little bit. It's about to kick me off right here. But